Hey there, and welcome. You know, that little device you carry around in your pocket? It's literally one of the most powerful tools ever invented. But are we using it right? Today, we're going to break down how you can take back the reins and make your smartphone work for you, not the other way around. So, this is the big question, isn't it? Is your phone an assistant that you command, or is it your master, pulling you in with a constant stream of notifications and distractions? The honest answer to that question, well, it changes everything. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll figure out that whole assistant or master thing. Then we'll dive into how to boost your productivity and knowledge. After that, we'll talk health and security, then cover some bad habits to drop, and finally, we'll see how the control is truly in your hands. So, first things first, we have to start with the foundation. And look, this isn't about deleting apps or fiddling with settings just yet. It's about a mindset shift. It's about deciding right now who's really in charge here. And that brings us to this key idea: conscious use. What does that mean? Well, it's the difference between picking up your phone to check the weather and picking it up for no reason at all, only to look up 20 minutes later and wonder where the time went. Having a clear intention is absolutely everything. Okay, now for the really good stuff. How do we actually turn this thing from a potential distraction into a powerhouse for getting things done and, getting smarter? It's actually way easier than you might think. To make our phone a real productivity tool, it all comes down to these three simple steps. One, before you even touch it, set a purpose. Think, I need to reply to that one email. Two, do that one thing, just that one thing. And three, this is the most important part, put it down. Seriously, the task is done. Don't let your assistant drag you into unplanned overtime. Your phone already has incredible tools built right in. Use a to-do list app to map out your day. Your calendar, it should have every single meeting and event. And Do Not Disturb mode is your best friend for deep focus. Here's a pro tip. Organize your apps like an office. The important stuff goes on the home screen. That's your desk. The fun, distracting stuff, tuck it away in a folder, like a break room you only go to on purpose. But hey, it's not just about work. Your phone is basically a university in your pocket. You can listen to podcasts while you do chores, take an entire online course on your lunch break, or catch up on what's happening in the world. Just one thing to remember: stick to reliable sources. You have to be on the lookout for fake news. A good assistant gives you facts, not fiction. Okay, so we've covered productivity and learning, but what about you? I'm talking about your well-being, your health, and your digital security. These things are so important, and how we use our phones plays a huge role. Let's get into it. Now your phone knows the truth. I want you to try this later. Go into your settings and look up your screen time report. Seriously, seeing exactly where those hours are going, whether it's on social media or learning apps, can be the single biggest wake-up call you need to make a change. This is a huge one. Using your phone right before you sleep, that blue light seriously messes with your body's natural sleep cycle. But if you put it away an hour before bed and maybe don't grab it the second your eyes open, you'll find yourself having a much calmer morning with way better focus. It's a game changer. And of course, your phone can be an amazing health partner. You can use it to track your steps, remind you to drink enough water, or log your workouts. See, when you use it with intention, it can be a fantastic tool for building those positive, healthy habits. Okay, let's talk security for a second. That new game you just downloaded, does it really need to know your location and have access to your microphone? Probably not. Think of it this way.
A trustworthy assistant only asks for the tools it needs to do its job. Be strict with those permissions.
So, let's just hammer this home. 3 security habits that are totally non-negotiable. First, use a strong lock, like your fingerprint or Face ID. Second, always install those software updates. They're not just for new emojis. They contain crucial security fixes. And third, like we just said, think before you tap allow on those permissions.
So we've talked a lot about the do's, but sometimes knowing what not to do is just as powerful. So let's take a look at a few common habits that pretty much hand over control to your phone.
Do any of these look familiar? Mindless scrolling. That's the #1 time killer. Using your phone while you're eating disconnects you from your food, from the people with you. Using it while driving, well, that's just plain dangerous. And finally, try breaking that knee-jerk reaction to every single buzz. You're in charge of your attention, not the notifications. So after all of this, what's the one thing you really need to remember? It all boils down to one simple, powerful idea. This is it. This is the whole thing in a nutshell. This amazing tool is here to serve you. It's here to help you connect, to learn, to achieve things. You are the one in control. You get to decide its role in your life. And that brings us to the end. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. We've gone over a ton of ways to use your phone better. But what's the one small change you can commit to trying starting today? Because answering that question for yourself is the very first step. Thanks for tuning in.